Hello, 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 and welcome to Updog Sports Talk. My name is Matt Miller. Joining me today is Justin McGovern. What's going on, dude?
Hey,
So, I guess kicking off, it would be perfect for us to just start with the absolute little guy of the NFL, the Carolina Panthers. I've seen a lot online about people saying that the Carolinas need an actual football team. And as much of a joke that is, I've been seeing it more and more lately, and it's been pretty concerning. So figured we would start with them. And Justin, they're looking pretty good. What can you tell us about the Panthers coming up?
yeah, I think this is the year we need to see something come together for them, I feel like. They're finally getting some of the pieces in place, so we can kind of dive into their offseason moves here. So when it comes to free agency, we did not see the Panthers be very aggressive. They mostly tried to build through the draft. No real big moves to talk about here. The only time they really swung for anything was they were trying to get Milton Williams. Obviously, he starred for the Eagles in the Super Bowl. They tried to get him on a big contract, but they did not get him. They got Tershawn Wharton instead to help kind of fill the interior of the defensive line. They really tried to focus up front with the free agent moves they made, though, because they could not get after opposing QBs much last year. I mean, really, a lot of their defense needs some work here. I do like the addition of Bobby Brown, giving them Matt?
Bigger, meatier men.
Yeah, all 332 pounds of them to help them against the run. We got Trayvon Morwig coming in, Patrick Jones. So some decent upgrades there on the defensive side. What about the draft?
I think they hit their needs. If you look at the players they drafted, they got Teteroa McMillan. They got Jimmy Horn Jr. late. I think that's kind of a steal. I think he's pretty underrated. They got another tight end, which they're actually now kind of deep, but around the same talent level at tight end. So they have four guys that are basically the same. They addressed running back in the fourth round with Trevor Etienne. They got some defensive linemen, including Nick Scorton, who at one point was really high on people's draft boards. They also got Princely. You want to try it?
I'm not going to try that one.
Umamillion?
From Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Guy who kind of fell in the draft because I think there were some character concerns of him. He also was on Florida before that, and there was an infamous play caught on tape where he was slowly walking in the middle of a play. So obviously I know there's some character concerns there, but they can coach these guys up. They may have found the guys to help really get this team a pass rush again, because they've lacked a top pass rusher since trading away Brian Byrne.
But I mean, like, when you look at it, they got McMillan, who's a big receiver, who, if you remember AJ Green, I would say he's maybe a slightly less talented version of AJ Green. But they have Xavier Legette, speedster, gonna take the top off the football. Or not?
Yeah. Pretty tall. Also pretty tall.
Yeah. Adam Thielen is still there. Jimmy Horn Jr. is gonna get some reps. David Moore is gonna get some reps. So they have Hunter Renfro's there. I missed that one. But they have some receivers that they can throw to. They've worked on the offensive line. It's Tommy Tremble's time to shine. A lot of people know him from Notre Dame, being a solid tight end at Notre Dame. They've been waiting on him to kind of develop. It's his time now. Bryce Young and Andy Dalton and Jack Plummer. Did you miss that one? They got a good quarterback room. I think Andy Dalton is a knowledgeable quarterback, and if he plays, he can be sufficient enough. If he doesn't play, he can help Bryce Young kind of understand what to do.
So we got to ask the question now, Matt. Do you think Bryce Young, is this his time? Is he ready to show that he's a true NFL franchise quarterback?
I think so. I think they have enough around him now to be like, okay, like, yeah, sorry, we lost your running back yet again. But they got Rico Dowdle. He's a solid running back to pair with Chuba Hubbard. So I think he has some things there, but everybody is young. You know who they kind of like are comparable to right now? How we were viewing the Cardinals last year. Remember how we were saying they've done a really good sneaky job through the draft? I don't think the Panthers were as sneaky with it, but I think they have enough to be like, hey, we are now moving in the right direction. We kind of got our team. Let's move in the right direction. Do I think they're going to compete to the highest level? No. But I think you're going to start seeing Bryce Young play differently. You're going to see these receivers kind of come into their own, and you're going to see the difference with the offensive line. So it's not going to be like remember not top 10 Sports Center. It's not going to be that. Defense, they addressed the defense heavily. I think they desperately needed to do it, but I don't think other than Bobby Brown III, I don't really think, I guess Mooring to a certain extent, I don't think they brought in a whole lot to really help their case.
I think, we'll see what Jones can bring. He racked up a few sacks last year as a rotational guy. Now he's going to be asked to step into a bigger role here, so we'll see what he does.
Yeah, I like their roster better than the past couple years, but this was a tear down and build up, and they're in the middle of the build up portion. So give it a couple years and maybe they'll get it figured out, but this is the year where we see what Bryce Young does.
Yeah. And, I think I like that they locked down J.C. Horn. He's their top guy in the secondary. The secondary still requires work, but at least you've made your top guy happy. You have him locked down as a cornerstone of this franchise for a few more years. So that was a good move on their part this offseason.
Yeah. Follow us at Updog Sports Talk on all social media. Follow us at Updog Sports Talk on wherever you get your podcasts. We're not going to be live on YouTube while we're doing these videos, but we will resume live shows in the fall. Thank you guys for joining us, and catch you later.